Welcome to I Bleeping Love Packaging, the podcast about people who bleeping love packaging. I'm AJ, and I'm here with
Mario, aka 23.
Yeah, Mario. Oh my God. Mario and I, we worked together a while ago, but I'm really excited to have him on. Mario's super talented, and I'm going to let Mario tell me a little bit about himself and what he's been doing. But yeah, really excited to kick off this episode. This is our first guest. And Mario, tell me a little bit about you and your background and let's get going.
Yeah, sure. So again, my name is Mario. I am a child from two Azorian parents. I'm first generation here in America. Growing up, I knew that I always loved drawing, sketching, and I knew that I was going to land somewhere in the field of arts. I out of high school, I tried just going straight into Hasbro, but I remember my first interview was random rookie mistake going in with a random folder of just drawings I had.
Yeah. So wait, before you go, you had a portfolio. You brought in a manila envelope of stuff that you had, right? Because you were like, this is I enjoy drawing. Let me work at Hasbro. That was your intro to trying to get in.
Yeah, I think I was 19 years old.
That's awesome. That takes some guts.
Yeah. Believe it or not, this kind of ages us, or at least me and my wife. She found a job posting in the newspapers. Believe it or not.
Okay.
And she was like, "Dude, you need to call and try." So one thing led to another. I got an interview, and I found myself in front of I don't even remember the person's name, but and they were sweet. They were like, these are cool drawings, but you need to go to school, go get some education in the field. We'll come back in a few years and see what happens. So yeah, I went to school. I tried finding something that was simple, easy as far as schooling went. I knew that I didn't have a whole lot of financial aid to go with. So I went to Gibbs School, got myself an associate degree in visual communications, went back, got a job at Hasbro, and started living out my dream career, I guess.
So Hasbro was your first gig right out of college then? That was you went from high school, you tried to get in there with your manila envelope, and that was no dice. So go in there,
no.
But went back, got your 2-year degree, and then you're like, I'm going to try again. And then you did it. You got it.
Well, it wasn't my first job.
Okay.
But I was at another company for a few years, and I just kept hunting, and it was like, you know what? I gotta make the move. So I think I was at the other company for, I think it was 3 years.
Okay. And were you doing graphic design there, or were you doing something different?
Yeah, no, graphic design, simple packaging for, I think it was CVS. There was some Norman Rockwell license that they had. We did a few jobs for them, but nothing really crazy. But yeah, and then I made the move in 2008 to Hasbro and was there almost 18 years. It was 17 years and 10 months. Loved every second of it.
Yeah. I mean, you were there when I was there, obviously, and we worked together a little bit when I was there. And I'd say you were I felt like you were built with the building when I showed up. You were there for a while. I mean, you weren't that old. You're not that old with there. I'm not going to put you. That building's 100 years old. You're not that old, but it was awesome to see you to come in as a newbie for me and see this established team of people who were there and knew what they were doing and had this awesome talent, and learning from them was great. I don't know. It was a pleasure to work with you guys on the team for sure.
Thank you. Listen, I will say you definitely did stand out as a structural engineer who wasn't just about, hey, I need to make a box. You always came in with a vision. And I'm not that type of person who was like, oh no, I'm the designer. I gotta take control. I felt the passion that you came in with a bunch of stuff. And I was like, you know what? Let's hear this kid out. I'd say almost all of them that you came with a passion with, we kind of rolled them out.
I feel like we collabed really well. But speaking of passion, I have a question, because I've always wanted to know, and this is I was thinking about this. Tell me about the Jeep. How did you give me the Jeep story.
All right. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, first, tell people what the Jeep is. Talk about the Jeep first.
So I have myself a 2015 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, and it's totally dressed up as a Transformer nest vehicle.
Yeah, it's
something
sick.
that
It's
should
super
be
cool.
something that should be a prop at like Universal Studios at the Transformers the Ride section. It should be just outside their store shop.
Yeah, I thought that you like stole it from Universal when I saw it the first time.
I actually had a girl walk up to me one day and she was like, "How did you get to drive this car? Like, this is so cool." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? This is my vehicle." But she totally thought my car was owned by Hasbro as a I don't know, like
because like they had the Bumblebee car that would show
commercial.
up every once in a while, you know, at
Yeah.
work. And so like
Yeah.
I thought for a long time too that you won some sort of contest or something. I didn't realize this was like your personal decked out Jeep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but like when I get into something, I dive in deep.
Yeah.
Like it bleeds, you know, out of my skin. Like, and when I got on Transformers and I was down there for a few years, you know, you're dealing with all these cool cars and different brands, you know, you're like, man, I want to do something. You know what I mean? Like you're transforming all these cool cars into these cool characters. And at the time, my son was really young too. So like when I got his okay, I was like, yeah, like we got to do it. And I reached out to a wrapping company that wraps for other companies, businesses around locally. I got a price and I was like, you know what? Let's go with a theme. I liked the nest theme, which if anyone wants to know what nest means, it's a non-biological extraterrestrial species treaty, which is a division of like the military that worked with Transformers and the Autobots. I know that's super geeky.
It's like the shield of Transformers, kind of, right? It's like
correct.
It's kind of
correct.
like
that's an amazing way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, say it. But yeah, there's the big logo on both sides of the doors. On my headrests, I had the logo stitched into the fabric. I had some props in there from like I think they were all they all came from like Singapore, which was like another Universal Studios location. And I dressed it up. I took off like the emblem that's right on the side fender and I changed it to one of the pins that you can buy at Universal.
Yeah.
I took off the pin portion of it and I put some 3M tape on there so it made it look official. So yeah, I mean, even my air valves, the caps are Autobots.
Yeah.
So
can't
every
miss
detail counts.
Yeah. It's like you see this car, and I just remember pulling in the parking lot at Hasbro and being like, "Oh, Mario's here today." Like you could like you're here every day, but like damn, like you could see it in the parking lot. It was awesome.
Yeah, you know, one of the major reasons why I love this, you know, the graphic design work that we do is I love going to the store and seeing the smiles on either an adult fan or a kid who walks down the aisle, sees their character that they saw on TV, a cartoon or whatever. That moment makes it all worthwhile. And that all is inspired from like moments from my childhood. Like, you know, I grew up with not a lot of, you know, my parents didn't have a lot of money, but like when we were able to go to like Disney and when we walked through like the gates for the first time, like I remember that moment and that smile that I had on my face. And I'm like, I gotta give this back. You know what I mean? Like every kid should feel that way. And I tried. I hope,
dude.
I hope I did well.
I'll be straight up. So like, cause my big thing when I was on it, when I was on that brand was like, I loved working with getting the feedback from the fans. Like I loved that kind of like, wasn't necessarily like the kiddos, but I loved hearing from like, the kidults, right? Was like my big motivator. And I know that they like really appreciated your work and everybody on the team's work. Cause like, you know, and there is times where they get spicy about they can be, the Transformers fans are great people, but man, they can get picky about some stuff.
Yeah. And, you definitely got to know the lore.
Yeah. You got to know it. And like, I know there's times where like, they're like, well, this is the wrong background in a Studio Series box, or this is, I don't know, they get like all goofy about things. And it's like, guys, it's like, you know, but for the most part, I feel like they really appreciate like your attention to detail and everything you did for the brand for sure.
Total team effort. I mean, from product design to structural engineer, you know, I tried using everyone as a resource. I mean, early on, a product designer, John Warden, amazing guy, was on the brand for a long time. Man, we would bounce ideas back and forth all the time. And he was another one who really listens to people in the chats. So he knew, obviously, as a product designer, he knew the product and what was coming down the pipeline. So he had already these thoughts in his head. So when it was time for me to start doing illustrations for the packaging, I'm like, John, what do you think? What would be a good idea? And like this, I mean, it was quick. He knew either I'd be asking or he'd walk by our office and he'd see like the illustration, the pencils on the wall and be like, hey, that's an awesome idea, but how about this? And when I see that, man, that passion, it fuels me.
Yeah. Well, I think that John's a great example too, because like when we worked on the Quintesson Pit of Judgment pack, and that's like one of the things that like, I mean, we had a HasLab, or not HasLab, it was a PulseCon or Pulse whatever article that the two of us did, right? But John Warden was the one who did the original sketch in my notebook, which I have somewhere, but like he did the original like quick pack out sketch.
I saw that.
And he's like, he was so quick with it, and it was like, here's what I'm thinking. And it was like, cool. Then like I was able to crank that out. You were able to throw graphics on it. It was like really fast process. And like we banged that out for as cool of a set as that was. I feel like that got a really good fan return. We did that pretty quick.
I hope people appreciate the amount of effort and work that you put into that, because that was an amazing inside, like interior of that package. Like the amount of detail that you went into it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun one. I mean, this is not like a Two Ages Horn podcast, but it was a fun one to work on for sure. And that's one of the ones that I have sitting over on my shelf in the corner. It's like that's one I'm proud of. That was a fun one. So you worked on a bunch of collabs on the Transformers team. And so what was your favorite collab that you worked on? And maybe what was one that was like, all right, I had to slog through this one because this was like, I had to get it out the door.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Growing up, Top Gun was a big top 3 movies that I loved watching. So when we got the news to that we were collabing with, is that Universal Studios? I think it was.
Paramount. I think it was Paramount, right?
It was Paramount.
Yeah. When
we got the news for that, it was like, all right, pull out the old DVD cassettes, whatever it was. Like, let's start rewatching the movie.
Did you get your flight helmet? Put your flight helmet on?
I got my bomber jacket. Is that what they're called? Bomber jacket? Put that on.
I put my volleyball shorts on. I don't know about
Yes, playing with the boys, even though that's such a weird name for a song. Right, it's just, we're not going there. Yeah, I mean, going through like every frame and capturing details, just the numbers on the jets, the fighter jets, making sure that it, because obviously the toy was Tom related. I wanted to make sure like those details were accurate, and it was as easy as it sounds to just go back and be like, okay, that's his plane. Like, man, they were zooming in and out of scenes so quickly, like to capture those moments wasn't easy. But yeah, a lot of memories that were pulled from having to create the packaging for that. That was probably one of my top favorites. One that went quick, but I still love. I actually just posted it on Facebook. It was a project that I swear it was like right after lunchtime. The marketing team came up and was like, "Hey, we have an opportunity to capture something on TV," and the timing had to be just right. It was for the Ellen show, and Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson were on the show promoting Avengers, movie 1, and they wanted Robert Downey Jr. to hand over Ellen her own SHIELD agent action figure, which would be her first one ever. They turned around the head sculpt really quick, and they were like, "Listen, we're gonna do this. Here's the assets. Do your best to make it feel Ellen." So here am I. I'm searching up Ellen DeGeneres on my computer, and I'm sure like IT was looking at it, going, "What is this kid doing?" But just trying to find like visuals of her face and different angles. I actually had to take one of I think it was Maria Hill, her character's illustration, and modify it in such a way that it looked like Ellen. Very doable, but time frame wise, man, it was like, you got to just get it done. And I look back at it now and I was like, whoa, I probably should have spent a few more hours on that, but it was like, just get it done. And we'll do our best, and we'll try to get it out the door as soon as possible. I did, before I posted it, I did go through and do an update. So there's a visual that's a 2012 version of Ellen DeGeneres illustration, and then there's a 2026 version of it. and man, it's like night and day. But that was another one that, you know, to see something on TV going from celebrity's hand to Ellen as a one of a kind package, man, that's a moment to remember. That one was like quick, like just get it done. But yeah.
Were there any other celebrities that you had the chance to either meet or work with when you were on the team?
We met a few of them at like movie premieres, but never really worked with. So I did do a collab with Nike, which was probably my number 2 project. Calvin Johnson, he used to play for Detroit Lions, number 81. They used to call him Megatron just because he's such a huge guy. That was I didn't get to like interview him or anything like that, but we definitely worked in partnership with Nike. They supplied us with anything that they had available for his new sneakers that were being released. And I think I worked with Brian LePipero. Here's another name.
Bilo. Yeah, I remember Bilo. Yep.
Yeah. Another amazing dude at Hasbro.
Who took a packaging career and pivoted way hard, right? Like he went into packaging and he moved to marketing. So maybe I'll have to reach out to him and see if I can get him on at some point, because he might be an interesting like start in packaging and move somewhere else, you know?
Yeah. So we ended up doing a Nike style box, but very inspired by his shoes. We had like a sleeve that was very much inspired by the flap that went over the laces. I even took inspiration from like the stitching style. So yeah, to do celebrity, but an athlete, like that was cool. And obviously Nike is a big favorite for me. I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. So
yeah.
I wish it was Michael, but
yeah. I was gonna say, like, you know, where's the obsession? I'm gonna say obsession in a nice way. Obsession with Michael Jordan. Where does that start?
No, it's an obsession. Well, like I said,
turn your head a little bit. Come on, Mario, turn your head a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So where does the obsession start?
I was a young kid. I was playing CYO basketball, and I had 2 coaches who I remember they were wearing the 1984 rookie year sneakers that he had just come out with, and they had brought a video of, it was like a highlight reel, and I just fell in love with him. And seeing those guys that I kind of like looked up to as coaches, you know, I was like, man, I want to be as cool as they are. I begged and pleaded my mom to buy me rookie Air Jordans, the ones, and I was able to get her to do it. Never really wore them. Always just kept them in the box, and it was weird because I was so young, but I bought them as a size 8.5, I think it was. And the obsession just started from there. I started watching him as very, very early. Every year that he would release a new sneaker, it was right there in line in the malls at like Foot Locker or Champs, or there was another local sneaker store down the street from where I lived in East Providence. Man, and it just one year after another, just greatness happened, and you know, 6 championships later,
yeah,
I picked a good guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, both did good.
Both on court and off court. Like, he's just a straight up awesome dude. And that obsession I've actually leaded over to my son. He's a sneakerhead too. So yes, my son's name is Jordan Michael.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that so much. Well, and it's funny because John Warden's also a sneakerhead. So like, you guys probably were like kind of
he's actually seen my sneaker collection. One time he was over having dinner with us, and he's like, I think he was more anxious to see the collection than it was to like just hang out and talk. He's like, can I see them? Can I see them?
Because I remember John asked me one time to cut him some boxes on the table, because he was like trying to reorganize his collection. He's like, can you cut me some shoe boxes? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I can cut you some boxes, no problem. Like, whatever you need, that's fine. But yeah, dude. So I don't know if you knew, but on the Legacy box, you know how that one was like really super like angular? It had the funky angle on Legacy. So the two main angles, like that one on the side where the kind of facet, and then the other one on the top, the one angle is 23 for you, and the other one is 17 for me. That's my lucky number. So I snuck those two in as Easter eggs, or the two angles on that box.
How come I'm only hearing this now?
I thought I told you about this. I didn't tell you about that. Yeah, I snuck those in there. Those are the two angles.
That
on that
is
box.
Amazing.
Yeah. Did you have any other Easter eggs that you snuck into anything?
I've only done it once. We had done a huge boom box of a box for the movie Bumblebee.
Yeah. Oh, the one that
And it was,
sorry, not to cut you off. Is that the one that you worked with PCI to produce? Is that that's the
yeah,
big
it legit was designed
it's huge.
as a
Yeah.
boombox. Yeah, it's huge. It was they only made, I think it was like 50 of them, and they got sent out to influencers, YouTubers, whatever they're called these days. And there was a push, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a reset push button that had little digits in case you were recording something on the cassettes. They gave it to me originally as just 000, but I changed them so that they looked like they were at 023.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta always sneak something in,
It's the only time I've ever done that. I've heard some horror stories of people trying to do their own little Easter eggs, and
I've heard some bad Cybertronian stories.
Yeah.
We won't get into that, but I've heard some bad Cybertronian stories.
Yeah.
So no, that's awesome.
Very, very grateful for the time I had at Hasbro. Every chance I had to make a memory, trust me, I've stored away some memories over the years. I wish my time there was longer, even though I had almost 18 years. I loved everyone that I worked with. Everyone there they're so creative. They're so passionate about what the stuff that they do there. I don't know what the future holds for Hasbro. I know they're moving to Boston for their new headquarters at the end of the year, 2026. But we'll see. I mean, no one can tell the future, so we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best luck to them, and best luck to who's there still. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have fond memories there. I know that I snuck out a while ago, but it's hard to see, friends and what I consider family going through what's going on over there right now for some of the stuff that's happening. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to dread on that, because there was good stuff. We made great things, and like, I've got a great portfolio from it. You've got a great portfolio from it, and we got to move on to other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, no book stops at one chapter. We gotta keep filling in those pages.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Spread the love.
Yeah, for sure. Mario, dude, it's been awesome. I haven't chatted with you in so long. It's been so great just to like chit chat, Where can people find you? What are you looking for? What's your next steps? Like, I know that you're job hunting right now, right? So where are you looking for a job? Like, where can people get a hold of you?
So I am looking, to start my new chapter. I hope that it's still within the toy world, but whatever comes along, I'm sure I'll dive deep into it. But as far as contacting me, you can contact me through email. It's an easy email. It's mariomj23@yahoo.com. I know it's Yahoo. I know that sounds old, but
hey, if it works, man. I'll put it in the show notes too, so that way people need to get a hold of you, they can get it from the show notes also.
Yeah. You could also find me on LinkedIn. I'm sure if you just type in my name, you'll find it.
I'll also throw that in the show notes too. So if people need to get a hold of you, they can do that. But are you doing freelance and stuff right now too, or are you kind of putting that on pause for now?
Kind of putting that on pause. I mean, I'm really trying to finesse my portfolio resume. I hadn't touched it in almost 20 years. I really did think that Hasbro was going to be my one and only place of work, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm surviving, and I'm sure something will pop up soon, and I'll let you know.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I'll have to come back on and give you
update. I want a part 2.
Do a refresh.
Yeah, it'll be good. Let's get you somewhere, and then let's get you on for a part 2 for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Cool, dude. Thank you so much for coming on to I Bleeping Love Packaging, and man, I can't wait for part 2 to come up sometime. So
all right, cool.
All right, man. Later.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. This is Later AJ. I forgot to record an outro for that last episode. Thank you very much for listening to I Bleeping Love Packaging. It's a packaging podcast made by a packaging engineer for packaging people like you, or for people who are just really excited about packaging. If you know somebody who you think is going to be into the industry someday, send this podcast to them and let them know, like, hey, we've got this new thing that we're building as a packaging industry. And if you want to be on the podcast, drop me a message at ibleepinglovepackaging@gmail.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn at AJ Pieko Brown. It's PIEJKO-Brown, just like the color. And let's grow this community together. If you guys want to see something specific, drop a comment on Spotify. I'll leave comments on. If you can give me a review, I really appreciate it, because that's how this grows, right? The more 5 stars that we get, the better this podcast is. So thank you again for listening, and see you guys next week.